In Attawapiskat, a community that's faced suicide after suicide, 18-year-old Tyler Ukma tries to battle boredom. Not easy when so many kids here seem so depressed.
They just don't have enough activities here. I mean, they're building that youth center, but it's for the kids.
2 years ago, the Minister of Indigenous Affairs promised to help by building a center youth could call their own. But the project is mired in bureaucracy. Instead, the province stepped in to build this temporary youth center, opening soon. Question is, what's taking Ottawa so long?
There was a commitment made, and it's taking longer than what was anticipated.
Anticipation was in the air for all Indigenous peoples when the Truth and Reconciliation Commission issued its blueprint for change in 2015, no less than a new relationship. Justin Trudeau, in opposition, endorsed all the TRC's calls to action.
The Liberal Party today accepts and commits to implement these recommendations.
A sweeping pledge oft repeated as Prime Minister.
Each of the 94 calls to action needs to be implemented.
So same.
But that promise is far from fulfilled, according to a groundbreaking database compiled by CBC's Indigenous unit. It found only 10 of 94 calls to action have been completed. For instance, funds for the North American Indigenous Games, check. Missing and murdered women's inquiry, check. Over 40 calls to action remain in varying stages of progress, but many others neglected. There's no national monument to residential school survivors, no Indigenous education legislation, no royal proclamation on reconciliation. In fact, nearly half of the calls to action have yet to be acted upon. The man who headed the TRC says actions speak louder than words.
Well, they haven't performed very well. I don't think there's any question of that. I think we're beginning to see some change. It's been slow in coming, mainly because I think they didn't really have a plan.
After raising hopes with promises to implement the TRC report, the Trudeau government now faces an awkward reckoning. The accounting so far suggests there's still much work left to be done. Duncan McHugh, CBC News, Toronto.